Monocrystal and silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. LONGi focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions, and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. Provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and works toward a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development, and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystal and silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. Focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions, and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. Provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and works toward a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development, and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystal and silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions, and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. Provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and wants toward a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development, and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystalline silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. LONGi focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions, and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. Provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and wants toward a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development, and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystalline silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. LONGi focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. Provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and wants to build a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystalline silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. LONGi focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. Provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and wants to build a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystalline silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. LONGi focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. Provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and wants to build a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystalline silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. LONGi focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. Provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and wants to build a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystalline silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. LONGi focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and wants to build a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystalline silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. LONGi focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and wafers, and leads the industry in diamond wire slicing technology. LONGi has shattered multiple world records in cell conversion efficiency, leading China's solar PV industry to take the top spot in the world. LONGi has stayed #1 PV module supplier worldwide by shipment volume. LONGi provides ground PV system solutions. LONGi is committed to developing highly reliable solar power stations in entire lifetime. LONGi has operations in various countries and regions and provides highly efficient PV modules for C&I and household customers. Provides a one-stop rooftop PV solution for households, the first of its kind in the industry. LONGi Hydrogen, by developing an innovative eco-chain for hydrogen technology and providing integrated solutions for green power plus green hydrogen. The planned capacity for 2025 is 5 gigawatt to 10 gigawatt. LONGi adheres to its light sustainable development concept, implements the solar for solar mode, and builds net zero factories to support climate action. LONGi makes the best of solar power with technology and wants to build a net zero future together with global customers and partners.
LONGi.
LONGi, it implements the green power plus green hydrogen strategy for net zero global development and focuses on technology-driven energy transitions. Monocrystalline silicon wafers, cells and modules, utility solar PV power systems and solutions, C&I and household distributed photovoltaic solutions, and hydrogen equipment in 5 business sections set up by LONGi. Focuses on R&D production and sales of monocrystalline silicon ingots and
各位嘉宾，下午好。 今天非常欢迎大家来参加今天由隆基主办的光伏行业科学碳目标设定、行动和全球合作的圆桌论坛。我是今天的主持人苏雨涵。我是全球大学气候变化联盟今年的青年代表团之一，然后我之前和隆基也有比较特别的缘分。今年暑假在隆基的这个可持续发展部门待了10周，进行了一段非常深入的这个实习经历，所以也非常高兴今天能够在隆基的这个 Solar Plus Pavilion，与各位前同事、领导、朋友们再一次见面，在这个话题之下呢，其实是因为隆基，我觉得隆基在今年通过了这个科学碳目标 SBTi 的审核认证以后，也一直展示出企业对于这个可持续的减排路线探索的一个雄心，所以才会有今天这样一个圆桌论坛。那在减少温室气体排放、实现巴黎协定这一个方面，企业的角色其实是不能忽视的。但要怎么才能科学的制定并落实碳中和以及零碳目标，通过全球的合作来促进全价值链的减排，是一个非常值得探讨的问题。所以非常感谢隆基今天特别组织了这一场这个圆桌论坛。那我们首先就邀请隆基绿能科技股份有限公司品牌总经理霍岩为今天的讨论开场。
Okay, and distinguished guests and also all the experts from China and also overseas. And good afternoon. And to everyone, and I am Talisman from LONGi, and in LONGi, and I'm in charge for the brand and also for the market. And thank you very much for joining us today at the Solar Plus Pavilion, and to also thank you everyone to come here for the scientific carbon target setting, action and global cooperation in photovoltaic industry seminar. And it is indeed an honor to have this photovoltaic industry venue established for the first time at the UN CCC. And I am grateful to engage in discussion with all the distinguished guests and on the crucial topic of setting scientific carbon targets for business. And firstly, I would like to take this opportunity to update everyone about LONGi's progress in SBTi target setting. And LONGi is committed to becoming the world's most valuable solar technology company, and introduced the concept of solar for solar on 24 COP. As a responsible global green energy technology company, we officially joined in Science-Based Target Initiative in 2020, submitting our target commitment in 2021. After completing a comprehensive carbon inventory across our value chain, we set our emission reduction target. In August 2023, LONGi achieved SBTi certification, become the first SBTi approved company in the global photovoltaic industry. And LONGi's SBTi emission reduction target aligned with the 1.5 Celsius degree goal outlined in the Paris Agreement. Behind the 1.5 degree goals lies LONGi's concept of benevolent economics. Corporations not only have an economic mission, but also bears a social mission, with both being mutually reinforcing. In the global pursuit of carbon neutrality, business play an important role. LONGi's founder and our president, Mr. Li Zhengguo, emphasize that the company should engage in activities beneficial to humanity and the earth, while also considering the interest of customers, partners, share stakeholders for sustainable success. And undoubtedly, LONGi has dedicated significant effort to achieve the 1.5 Celsius degree target. Following the SBTi's methodology, LONGi simulated carbon emission trend under different scenarios, ensuring aligned with the Paris Agreement's greenhouse gas emission target. To fulfill our carbon emission commitment, LONGi continues to enhance the greenhouse gas verification system across the entire group, dynamically adjusting decarbonization strategy based on emission result. In 2022, greenhouse gas emission within the entire group's operational scope decreased by 2.01% compared to 2021. And I think this is a very great result because our business grows around 40% in 2022, but our emission has reduced. And this achievement will be presented in the details in 2023 LONGi Climate Action White Paper, which will be officially released the day after tomorrow. And currently, solar energy has become the most cost-effective source of electricity in the majority of countries globally. And through continuous technology research and innovation by photovoltaic companies, similarly unattainable goals have been achieved. And in this morning, another expert said around 20 years before, 1 kilowatt cost for the solar energy is around €5, but now it's only around 10 cents US dollar. Yeah. So the calculation shows that from our silicon materials to photovoltaic modules, the direct energy consumption is only about 0.5 kilowatt per watt, while the electricity generation by the 1 watt and of photovoltaic modules over its whole life is around 30 years, and it will be 45 kilowatt hour. That means, and from 0.4 kilowatt to 45 kilowatt hour, and the energy efficiency generated by photovoltaic is 100 times. And so we can call our solar module is the new energy amplifier. And taking LONGi as an example, since 2012, LONGi has produced cumulative photovoltaic silicon wafer totally around 290 gigawatt, and estimated to generate over 1,148 billion kilowatt hour of clean electricity, and equal to avoid over 530 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions, accounting for 1.46% of the global energy-related carbon emission in 2022. At the same time, the pace of innovation among the Chinese photovoltaic company continues to accelerate and consistently surpassing the conversion efficiency of photovoltaic cells, enable the absorption of more sunlight and generation more electricity within the same area. And LONGi's green energies monocrystalline silicon and monocrystalline perovskite tandem cells have set world record with conversion efficiency of 26.81% and 13.9%, and respectively, making them both field and become our double champions in the efficiency in the photovoltaic. In fact, starting from 20% conversion efficiency and each percent point increase in the efficiency of our photovoltaic cells can save more than 5% of the cost for downstream's power station. As Chinese photovoltaic production accounts for over 80% of the global market, even 0.01 percentage point increase in cell conversion and can produce around 1.4 billion degree electric every year. And so the high efficiency can save and more energy. And the Science-Based Target Initiative provide a scientific and measurable framework for companies, guiding us to collectively work on addressing climate change globally, and how this value and contributions can be fully reflected in the rules of SBTi for the photovoltaic industry is a matter that requires joint communication and exploration. In today's forum, we look forward to discussing this challenge topic with all the distinguished guests and experts, and we want to find innovation solutions through global cooperation. We believe we can overcome these challenges and drive the photovoltaic industry to contribute even more actively to addressing climate change. Finally, thank you for everyone to come here and support us, and I wish the conference have a great successful. And in the meantime, for the next week and every day, we have around 3 events here in the Solar Plus Pavilion, and welcome everyone to join us. Thank you, everyone.
谢谢霍总为我们详细的介绍了LONGi作为国内首个通过 SBTi 审核认证的光伏企业在减排方面的目标、行动还有决心。我看到现场有一些刚加入的观众，欢迎大家来到LONGi所主办的这个圆桌论坛，一起来讨论企业是如何在科学碳目标方面进行设定、行动以及开展全球合作。接下来我们欢迎吴福荣主任，他是来自 CDP 中国的主任，就企业如何设定 SBTi 目标的重要价值做主旨发言，有请吴主任。
Dear colleagues, distinguished guests, it's an absolute pleasure today to have this opportunity to share with you what CDP has been doing, and more importantly, what CDP has been doing together with LONGi with focus on SBTi. As I'm Flora Wu from China, so I will switch to Mandarin for the next part. 感谢大家今天来参加这个关于 SBTi 的活动。首先非常恭喜LONGi通过了这个 SBTi 目标的审核。那 CDP 呢也简单向大家介绍一下，这3个字母是 Carbon Disclosure Project 碳披露项目，成立于2000年。经过这23年的发展，我们现在是全球唯一的独立的企业级 气候及环境信息披露的平台。那么LONGi呢也是在我们这个平台上多年披露哈。今天上午呢其实就在楼上，我们和ISSB 有一场联合的活动。那在去年的 COP 呢，我们是宣布了我们的这个平台会和 ISSB S2 的这个标准相一致。那么今天的活动的主题是关于在标准已经明确的基础上，怎么样在给企业做更多的能力建设，尤其是在中国有非常清晰的给企业和机构提供能力建设的计划。那说到科学碳目标呢 ，CDP 是这个科学碳目标的4个发起方之一。那我们在这个科学碳目标里的角色呢，就是一个技术支持方。所有企业要设定了科学碳目标之后，每年呢需要披露自己对应这个目标的一些减排的进展。那所谓叫科学碳目标，刚才霍总也介绍过了，那就要是和巴黎协定所设定的温升控制在1.5度的这个相适应。那为什么企业会愿意去设定一个这么可以说比较高的目标来倒逼自己呢？其实我们可以从几个数字来看一下。首先，我刚才查了一下，我们在2022年底，2022年底的这个SBTi 的它叫一个 tracking report， 就是看进展的一个报告。那设定了这个科学碳目标的企业占到了日经指数公司的40%，占到了富时指数的69%，以及其他的一些主流的这个资本市场。所以它是一个行业领导者的行动，也是这个世界上最广泛采用的，就是各个行业的领导者通过这个树立气候领导力，通过科学碳目标来管理自己向低碳转型的这么一个工具那也非常高兴今天呢能够有机会跟大家分享，也同时呢就是在LONGi被审核通过了之后有一些什么样的路要继续走下去。一个是刚才谈到了，可能作为承诺了并且通过审核的科学碳目标的企业，以后每年要披露进展，所以在 CDP 这个平台上，这个是欢迎LONGi继续的披露。而且 CDP 的平台呢，刚才我介绍了它的这个承载国际主流的标准，2018年是和 TCFD 的标准完全一致，然后去年我们是宣布从2024年明年开始和 ISSB 的这个要求一致。大概在2个月以前，我们也宣布了会将来和 TNFD 自然相关的这些框架的披露要求相一致，以及大概在2个星期以前，我们应该是宣布了会尽量的承载这个欧洲可持续披露的标准 ESRS 的这个要求。那这么多的标准，我们尽量的把它放到一个平台上，目的就是帮助企业减少重复披露的负担，尤其是在多个司法辖区运营的企业，没有企业愿意披露5、6次，所以能够在 CDP 平台上一次完成这些合规。更重要的是呢，因为我们这个平台是一个非常公开、透明，然后国际可比性的一个平台，所有的这个数据都是按照国际通用的，比如说之前 TCFD， 现在 ISS 标准来披露，然后所有的这个分数就至于企业在这披露的分数也是按照全球统一的标准，然后所有的问卷呢以及这个打分的方法学都在网站上非常公开那企业如果在CDP 平台上获得一个评分之后，能够非常清晰的看到面对这个自己设定的科学碳目标基准年，然后每年你进步了多少，跟你的这个全球同行比，你处在什么样的一个位置我觉得还有更重要的一点是，它是非常重要的资本市场的一个参考。CDP 的数据和研究谁在用大家可能会问这么一个问题，大家所耳熟能详的所有主流的这个 ESG 评级机构，道琼斯、标普包括 MSCI 名胜指数，他们的这个 ESG 评级的就是环境这一部分的数据都来自 CDP， 所以在 CDP 评级如果获得比较好的分数的话，是非常有助于企业提升在资本市场的这个美誉度，以及降低融资成本等等。其实它在我刚才讲，除了是行业领导力提升这个品牌的一个工具之外呢，同时也是有一些激励机制的，比如说在资本市场融资的更加容易、更加便捷。同时整个的行业领导者设定科学碳目标这么一个行动，必然会带动整个的行业更加的像这个巴黎协定所设定的1.5度来共同努力。大家这几天参加 COP 肯定也听说了，其实我们的现实和我们的目标是有一点差距的。如果按照现在的这个发展的 trajectory 这什么轨迹，我们很可能是温升3度以上，就是远远偏离了这个1.5度。所以我们非常高兴能看到LONGi这样的中国的优秀企业的代表，把自己的目标设在1.5度，并且付诸行动。那展望将来，我们也特别希望哈，在 CDP 这个国际平台上，能够帮助中国企业一起走得更远，一起得到更多的国际公正的认可。谢谢大家。
谢谢吴主任为我们非常简要，但是又非常能够触及重点的提到了企业设定 SBTI 目标的这个重要价值。在刚才这个吴主任的这个讲话里面，也提到了 CDP 这个平台是怎么注重公平性以及这个透明的这个问题，这也是现在非常多企业以及在利用 CDP 数据的这个使用者非常关注的问题之一。接下来，我们有请来自公众环境信息研究中心 IPE 的马军主任来做主旨发言。有请马主任。
感谢LONGi的这个邀请，今天非常高兴有机会和大家一起来探讨一下，就是关于这个 SBTI 相关的一些问题啊。So happy to have the chance to be invited to discuss about the SBTI and the data, our data-driven solutions. The world is facing a real big challenge with the pressing climate challenges and raising frequency of all these extreme weather events, not just in other parts of the world, but very much in China as well. And this is the latest the latest stock take done by the UNEP. So basically, there's no reliable pathway to 1.5 degree target, and so there's a huge gap here in the world. So from Paris, from Paris to Dubai. More and more companies and financial institutions have actually announced their climate and environmental commitment. Now they own a massive amount of assets, and they also have many of them have committed to net zero. But this is the target that's supposed to hold everyone really accountable, because it's that science-based target because it's want everyone to set their target aligned with 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature rise target, and so the many of those companies have set this, have released their corporate net zero commitment, and so far more than 6,000 globally, more than 6,000 companies and organizations worldwide have joined SBTI, and more than 3,300 have set and published their SBTI. And among them, there are increasing number of Chinese companies have joined the SBTI, and 96 have issued targets, and 72 have committed to net zero targets. And from this we can see it's not just the big brands. Many of those who join are actually suppliers to those brands. But on the other hand, we see the challenges to try to fulfill the SBTI commitment. Just recently, we have all read about this news that some of the leading global companies have actually been kicked out of the science-based target because they failed. They failed to show that they are on track. And among them, we are also got interviewed by the Chinese media. This one is Chinese Environmental News, affiliated to the ministry, and basically there are actually more of those among those who have been delisted. The largest number actually came from China. So obviously, China's facing a big challenge. Chinese companies facing a big challenge. Why? Because the science-based target want most of the companies to set absolute targets. I'm sure Madam Wu have just explained about that, and linear reduction to demonstrate the linear reduction every year. And for example, we can see how CNA set target, how Dell set their science-based target, and in line with the global standards. So basically, about 42% decrease by 2030, and linear reduction every year. And so it's in some way it's relatively easy for those who sit in the big office in New York and London and Paris to set this to make this commitment. But actually on the ground, for all these small and medium-sized companies, suppliers, to try to comply with this, it will be quite a big challenge. So that's the current situation. And because Scope 3 emissions is the nutshell, is the toughest part. If those companies really want to comply with the science-based target, then the Scope 3 emissions will be the real big challenge. And but globally, we can see from this chart that from this map that so much of the embedded carbon being exported from China, and those red lines. And I mean that's kind of that's why so many major global multinational brands they have to address the Scope 3 emissions because it's fundamental for them to realize a credible commitment. And Scope 3 carbon footprint usually account for the bulk of their own carbon footprint. So how to track and to manage the Scope 3, the supply chain carbon footprint. So as IPE, we have been tracking the supply chain performance of companies from more than 10 years ago. But about 10 years ago, we developed an index called CITI, Green Supply Chain CITI Index. And this year, we have just published the 10th kind of evaluation results of this green supply chain index, tracking the performance of hundreds, more than 740 global and local brands. And after Paris Agreement was signed, we also developed an index, special index for supply chain management. It's about supply chain climate action index, and it's called CATI. And this CATI, we have been doing that for 6 years. Started from policy and governance, and then followed by measuring and disclosure. And the third part is the carbon target setting. And this is the result of the top 50 of the most recent release of our report. We can see that most of these companies are running on top. They are multinational companies, but we also see some of the major suppliers of those companies, like Foxconn, have done a good job, and LONGi have done pretty well. These are all major suppliers to the global IT companies. So they have been motivated by the brands to do this. And Lenovo used to be, partner with IBM. So they started pretty early to address the climate issue, the carbon issue. So they are also running on top. But then followed that, Avery is the same part of the supply chain. And then we see LONGi. LONGi have performed pretty well, and it's its ranking and score. Its score is going up, and its ranking is going up. So I think that's quite impressive. And when we compare the last year's result with this year's result, we can see some accelerated actions taken by all these companies. Particularly if we talk about see the spider map, we can see on the governance side a lot of progress being made. More companies set their policy and started ramping up strengthen their governance on this corporate governance on the climate actions. And then the second part, measuring and disclosure, also a lot of progress. And then it's about target setting. Target setting, also some progress made, which is quite impressive. And but the fourth one is actually related to that progress, aligned with the target setting. That almost like no progress at all. And so I think that's a real big problem. And then the real results of climate actions, also not much progress as well. And so we do believe that there's a lot of room to improve. More than half of those published emission reduction targets, and most of them actually cover the scope 3. This is impressive. And some of this 55% set absolute, set their targets, and but we mentioned about LONGi as one of the companies. 19 across 19 industries have set approved by SBTi. Among all the 742 companies, more than 200 of them have actually committed to science-based targets. And so that's this year's progress. But in the meantime, nearly 40% of them have an average emission reduction ratio of less than 1.2. So this is not aligned with the science-based target. So the actual implementation of science-based target is there's a quite big challenge there. And if we continue to do that, we're going to see more of them kicked out of the SBTi sooner or later. So although leading companies are extending their supply chain emissions reduction upstream, the gap between the slow progress and the high-profile commitments, it's striking. It's getting bigger and bigger. Only a few of these companies, we highlighted Avery and Danone. They have done a good job, but many others we can see have only 20% actually have taken action to reduce emissions in their supply chain. So there's still a big problem in supply chain emission reduction. And from this chart, we can see where we are when it comes to all this 22 industries. 22 industries, and we can see that some of the leading brands. If we check that, LONGi is leading the whole solar PV equipment manufacturing. So very impressive. But in the meantime, the whole industry is not performing that well. We have other companies which are running way behind. That means so there's a lot of potential for leading companies like LONGi to play its leadership role. I hope that LONGi's success in complying with SBTi could set a good example here to motivate others to join the efforts. And in our case study, you can see that how LONGi set science-based targets and empower the suppliers. Try to empower the suppliers already. We have also been invited to give some training to to the supply chain, and LONGi has actually started trying to put that into action. The reason that we got so excited with LONGi is because of this. From this chart, we could see that the last 2 years, the whole world is not actually decreasing. Its carbon emission is actually going up, and the global total GHG emission have actually reached a new height, and so that's the challenge. But we can see from this chart that fossil fuel, the increase of fossil fuel, that's the increasing demand for fossil fuel. That's the biggest problem. And although the renewable is also increasing, but the speed, we still need to speed that up. And obviously, we need to go through the energy transition. We need to help the fossil fuel industry, the coal power, all this coal power to go through their transition. I think that's very important. And in the meantime, the renewables like wind and particularly solar, we need to further expand that. This is the solar map that we co-developed with Tsinghua University, Professor He Jijiang's team. We work together on that, and we can see from this map, centralized solar, the yellow bar, is increasing. This is about every quarter. Every quarter is increasing, but that's in the western part of China. But the middle and particularly the eastern part, the coastal regions in China, we can see the blue bar really made a very steep curve of expansion. This is the distributed rooftop solar PV, and we can see it's really expanding at a shocking speed. This year, I think the LONGi colleagues could correct me. I think it's 90%, right, year on year. So far, it's about an increase of 90%, and the installation capacity have just topped 100 giga, and it's quite impressive on the distributed level. And globally, we can see in other parts of the world, it's also expanding, not just in China, but in many other parts of the world, particularly like in countries like Germany, and it's really developing pretty. It's also very impressive, and we can see this progress in the not just installation, but also the this is the installation, national installation. It's increasing very, very fast, and this is when we zoom in, we can see that in the eastern coastal regions in China, so many solar powers being developed in this region, and this is very, very helpful because in this region is close to the demand center, and globally, I mentioned about Germany, it's also very, very intensive. So that's why the efforts made by LONGi to try to go green, to go zero carbon, is very important, because the whole world needs renewable energy to achieve the decarbonization, the energy transition. But in the meantime, the production process used to be highly energy intensive and carbon intensive. That's the problem. While we are serving the others, we're actually consume so much fossil fuel and became a major emitter. That won't be as helpful as it looks like. So that part. We believe that as Director Mao Tao from the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology put it, you are the green product, but I want you to manufacture in green, in a green way. So I think that's the goal. And it's also very helpful because it's aligned with SDG target, can help to achieve SDG. But the challenge is really there because you are expanding so fast. When you try to achieve the science-based target, Madam Wu knows that it's absolute. You need to commit to absolute emission reduction. When you're expanding so fast, so how come? That will make your journey quite a difficult one. And if it is other companies who set this target, I will be quite cautious to praise it. But I guess for LONGi, you have no choice, right? If you want to convince the others, this is the way to go forward. So you have to. So you develop your solar for solar plan, and we all look forward to that. And for us, we believe that if you really truly want to achieve the science-based target, then the whole, not just scope 1 and 2, but scope 3, with all of this, you need to build a closed loop digital MRV mechanism, meaning that measure, reporting, and verification system started from measuring and disclosure, and then of course target science-based target setting is very important, and then try to track the performance and interact with others. But all of this need to start from measuring. And we, through our research, we can see that only 40% they actually measure the scope 3 emissions, but most not based on the suppliers measuring data. They just use modeling and come up with the data saying that this is my scope 3. But how much of this is science-based? I'm not sure. So I think it's very important to drill deeper into the supply chain, into the suppliers, to enable and empower the suppliers to measure and disclose. And on that, Chinese government is also making policy direction toward this. So China have just built a mechanism, a disclosure platform requiring for a mandatory corporate disclosure. This is a new bylaw requiring this. A broad range of environmental information need to be disclosed. In the first round, 85,000 of some of the largest emitters have been put on this, and many of them have started disclosing not just the ordinary, the conventional emission data, but carbon data. This is the corporate carbon data emission platform we set up, and 4.5 billion tons have been disclosed, and we put it. Most of them are part of the carbon trade market, but as more industries joining this, so we're expecting more to come to measure and disclose. But from this map, we can see that all these orange dots are the major emitters that have a lot of coal consumption, but or fossil fuel consumption, but not actually disclosed. So we're trying to help. That's why I say the digital solutions is very important to facilitate the achievement of all these targets, including the science-based target. So we co-developed this with our partners, the corporate greenhouse gas emissions accounting platform, and so it's a digital platform which can help cost-effectively measure and disclose the carbon footprint. And 2022, we can see all these companies have disclosed more than 60 million tons of carbon footprint based on this. And some of the largest financial institutions have also motivated not just their own branches to measure and disclose, but those who want to borrow money to disclose. And another development of the digital solutions is the product life cycle assessment, LCA, carbon footprint factors database, because it's not just a corporate level carbon footprint that need to be measured and disclosed. The product level also need to be measured and disclosed. This is important, particularly for the measuring of the scope 3. And based on that, we also developed a product carbon footprint disclosure and catalog. And so far, it's already 11,000 different products of all these daily consumptions that people use. All these different products can make those disclosure. I think LONGi have also measured and disclosed. And some of the raw material suppliers also started measuring and disclosure. So all this will help eventually to prepare for the digital solutions. And now come to the hard part. This is about target setting. And this target setting is so far at this moment, the whole process is not quite easy, and it could be costly. So we're also trying to see whether there are ways to digitize the process. So with that in mind, we developed the corporate carbon target setting tool in 2023. And this is digital tool that hope to help those suppliers to make some preparation before they jump into their commitment. At least they need to know what they should expect. And so this tool is this is the template, and companies can choose to they can set up choose their targets, but we can see from here, it's a science-based target as part of that, and then the 1.75, and then 2-degree targets, and so try to help them to at least set up some targets. I think it's very important in a rather scientific way, and so this is the template, and those companies, of course, if they have measured, they can directly do that. It's almost like one click away that they get this to understand choosing a baseline year, and then by 2030 how much they need to cut their emission. And then if they haven't measured, then they can go back to the digital accounting platform and do their own accounting first. I think that's very important. And scope 3 is also could be part of that, and renewable electricity target, they can also choose to set up that. And the pathway toward decarbonization, we suggest that they can start it from the low-hanging fruit, making their own management more efficient through the digital transformation, and then cut their energy conservation, and then renewable energy, renewable direct, indirect use, and then finally the rest of it they buy offset. And these are one of the cases that we help them to do, and basically following that path. So we believe that the science-based target is a very good concept, but so far there's a real need to track the actual performance so that to prevent it from being become some sort of greenwash. So we launched the corporate accountability map, and highlight not just what all those corporations, the brands, the major multinational companies and local companies, not just how much they committed, but the progress they made toward achieving their target. We're happy to see that even the Chinese companies, part of the supply chain, such as Baosteel, have set up their their targets and started doing the emission reduction. But there are gaps, of course, there are still gaps. And we're also doing our tracking of the listed companies. And I mentioned about Baosteel, it's just one of the companies that started calculating and disclosing their carbon emissions, and not just on the corporate level, but product carbon footprint level. And they also started setting targets. But their targets, so far it hasn't come close even to the science-based target. It's mostly still just about first they want to pick their emission. So among all the 30, we're happy to see 6 of them going to pick this year their emission. I think with them at the far upstream, started picking and having emission reduction, it could be quite helpful. But globally, you know, the situation is quite, you know, different countries are in different, you know, development phase, and we can see even within China, different regions, different provinces and cities are in different situation. So how to set a target across the board, you know, obviously science-based target is aligned with 1.5. It's very, very good. But in the meantime, there are obviously need for some more other, you know, a variety of target setting rules not aligned with the actual situation, particularly in the global south. So on this part, you know, I hope that we can come together and try to work together to develop new, you know, some additional rules for target setting. Otherwise, those companies will be in a dilemma of either to just, you know, either to embrace some target setting standards that they won't be able to deliver, or they simply, you know, would not have any target setting to guide them. I think that's the problem. Last point I want to make is about this, you know, our new initiative, Zero Carbon Supply Chain Initiative. We hope that the multinational and local brands could really step by step to really try to decarbonize not just their own scope 1 and 2, but also scope 3, and of course set targets in a scientific way, and to work with the suppliers to decarbonize. On that, I think LONGi companies, local companies like LONGi have made positive efforts. And as an NGO, along with other stakeholders, I think we need to create enabling environment to help those companies to hasten their process of decarbonization. And with this initiative, I'm very, very happy to see LONGi also sign on that. And so I think that's absolutely a best practice. This is our Blue Map app, and our solar map we co-developed with Professor He Jijiang, you know, who's also here from Tsinghua University, and is also presented on the solar map, and also on that. And tomorrow we're gonna have made some announcement and have some launch as well. And I hope that you know, all this solar power equipment manufacturers like LONGi and many others could also you know, eventually to showcase that that not just it has the best quality, the most competitive price, but in the meantime also have the best ESG performance, and can help to achieve the global SDG target. I stop here. Thank you very much.
谢谢马主任的这个介绍。刚才听这个马主任的主旨发言呢，就想到了一句话，就是在做减排的时候，大家经常会说，如果我没有去计算这个排放量，其实是不知道要从什么地方减起的。所以有这样子的这种非常好的这种数据平台、地图工具，我相信对很多企业做减排来讲，会是一个事半功倍的一个帮助。那刚才马主任呢，其实也提到了一些关于范围3的问题，那我们就把这一个点带到接下来的圆桌讨论环节。我们有请来自吴芙蓉主任，来自CDP 中国的吴芙蓉主任上台。我们也请马主任回到台上参与我们接下来的这个讨论环节。同时，我们也非常高兴能够请到中国能源研究会能源与环境专委会秘书长王卫全先生。我就不到台上跟各位挤一挤了，我就站在这边。好，我就不再做这个太多的这种前言铺垫，我们就直接进入这个讨论的环节。CDP 作为这个 SBTI 的联合发起方之一，我想要请吴主任对 SBTI 倡议在全球应对气候变化的整个进程当中的重要价值来和大家聊一聊，然后做一些分享。有请吴主任。
谢谢主持人。SBTI 呢，刚才有几个数据还没有跟大家分享哈，就是我刚才有谈到，它是一个全球的行业领导者加入的这么一个倡议。那刚才我同事发给我一些最新的数字哈，截止11月末，那个全球是有6000多家企业加入了 SBTI 倡议，其中有3900多家是已经开始行动了，就审核之后已经开始行动了。那么在大中华区呢，是有486家企业然后通过了这个目标设定，然后有280多家企业正在采取行动。那作为一个就是在全球行业领导者的这么一个倡议，那首先是作为行业领导者对整个行业的带动，而且更重要的是，因为它是科学碳目标嘛，是跟巴黎协定所设定的1.5度的这个目标相一致的，所以会对企业算是一个比较高的要求。但同时呢，对企业也是一种就是自我要求高，那么你要通过创新、通过技术、通过各种手段去实现它，然后这些东西也会就是外溢成为带动行业、带动全球共同迈向更加绿色的这么一个未来。其实刚才还有几个这个关键数据我没有来得及说，就是我们 CDP 平台呢，2023年最新的披露数据是全球有23000家公司在 CDP 平台披露环境和气候数据，占到了全球资本市场66%，也就是2/3的这么一个这个份额。那说明什么？说明就是大的上市公司他们已经在行动。那为什么有这么多23000家公司愿意在 CDP 平台披露呢？并不是我们要求他披露的，有2种。一种呢是 CDP 在全球有740多家机构投资者，我们叫 signatory， 就是联署投资合作伙伴。那么这740多家机构投资者会要求他的投资组合里的公司通过 CDP 披露气候和环境影响信息，因此他也能得到一个全球统一标准的可比的数据来证明他的投资组合是变得越来越绿色的。那还有更重要的一点是，刚才其实马主任也有提到了，就是供应链。CDP 在全球有330多家这个供应链合作伙伴，他们会要求在他的这个供应商里头，通过这个 CDP 平台来披露环境和气候影响信息。每家企业它可能的这个严格程度不同，但是最严格的，比如像苹果，你要是不披露，明年你就别做我的供应商了，我不从你这买东西。所以结合中国市场来说，去年是3400多家企业在 CDP 平台披露这个环境信息。大家要知道，中国的内地其实是没有强制披露要求的，很多这个国外的资本市场，包括中国香港，甚至包括一些发展中国家巴西，都是有强制的这个气候和环境信息披露要求。在没有这个情况下，中国依然是 CDP 全球第2大的披露市场，原因就在于我们谈到的供应链这个，因为中国作为制造业大国，其实 大家应该也有了解，欧盟的绿色立法是针对整个供应链的，所以它这个压力已经传导到了我们中国的供应商身上。大概就是3400多家企业里头，我们看了一下，大概应该有70%到80%都是供应商，受你的这个欧盟或者是美国的这个客户的要求，对你必须得披露。比如说像欧莱雅，像这个沃尔玛，在最早期的像博士，这些他们都已经跟 ACP 合作有将近20年的时间，所以刚才大家也反复提到范围3，但是他们已经跟 CDP 合作了，就是这330多家已经合作了多年，所以它的范围3已经有了很好的积累。那曾经在今年7月31号，大家知道那个欧盟在 CSRD 立法之后公布了7月31号公布了这个披露的标准 ESRS， 那不是像 ISSB 说只要基石的标准，那第一批出来的是12套，6套针对环境的，3套针对这个什么治理啊，然后其他的。但是我们做了一个问卷调查，对于在 CDP 披露的企业，问你们有多少准备好了应对这个 ESRS 这么复杂的一个披露，74%的企业说我准备好了，因为他们已经合作这么多年，范围3的数据他们已经准备好了。所以我的建议就是说，当然科学碳目标里头其实有一个非常重要的要求，如果你的范围3就是你这个供应链的排放达到了40%，你是需要对供应链进行管理的。所以我的建议就是说，大家及早行动吧。虽然范围3很难，对于发展中国家的企业很难，但是我们的这330多家里头非常高兴跟大家宣布，之前呢中国钱很少，然后现在应该是有10几家大中华区的企业，中国大陆总部的有2家，咱们还不是LONGi还不是有2家，就是这供应链的这个管理就目前呢中国企业刚我介绍，其实被动的，就是欧盟企业要求你披露是被动的。其实也已经有行业的领导者开始主动去管理自己在全球的供应链。那要在 CDP 的这个打分系统中，你设立了科学碳目标，或者你开始对你的供应链管理，你的分数会大幅提升。这个是你上一个台阶的重要的手段，也是你在资本市场在全球的这个采购者心目中大幅度的提高形象、提高这个竞争力的一个手段。所以我最终总结一下，就是说科学碳目标是企业对自我的一个高要求，同时也会给企业带来很大的这个激励。就我们一直在讲 ES 这个东西，其实你自己要做的可持续，它不光是一个成本项，大家其实很多时候觉得这是个成本，又让我做这个做那个。我们现在正在想，能不能通过 CDP 长期的数据积累，能不能有一个模型出来，告诉大家说，如果你把这个时间段拉长 ，ESG 做得好，它不仅仅是个成本项，它会给你带来切切实实的利益。对，谢谢。
谢谢吴主任。就提到了这个企业怎么做可持续的这个碳减排，其实是非常重要的。因为企业做这个可持续的动力，其实它还是来自于想要有获得更好的投资，也为这个世界做更多的这个服务。那刚才呢，这个范围3是我们前面所有环节的一个高频词了，所以现在呢，想要请马主任来给我们聊一聊，就是 SBTi 的规则可以怎么推进企业全价值链的这个碳中和。有请马主任。
Thank you. Yeah, I think SBTi. I mentioned about SBTi's great impact to leverage the whole supply chain to try to go green. Because if you committed to SBTi, then one of the criteria, Madam Wu can correct me, that you need to engage with your suppliers. I mean that's part of the criteria. And how do you engage with them and to motivate them to measure and disclose is I think it's very important. Recently, we have some debates and discussion with a leading global company, with Apple, which claim that they made a claim to have the first carbon neutral product, but in the meantime, we can see that they have a gap, a significant gap in their disclosure scheme. They do make their suppliers to make some disclosure, but only on the group level. I think that group level is not good enough for the others to try to figure out in an indirect way how much actual decarbonization transformation their supply chain have actually been doing. And so I hope that eventually SBTI will not stop at the group level. Some of the group companies have 100 sites, and so only have the group company to make that disclosure. It doesn't provide sufficient evidence to really, and it will waste a good opportunity for the corporations who committed to SBTI to actually, to motivate a real transformation of its supply chain. With that, I can see some other companies are doing things in a different way. For example, Dell. Dell companies have already, tried to engage. They don't say that we know everything. They actually say that, look, the head office suddenly make all this commitment, but on the ground, how should I be able to do it? And then they work with the stakeholders to try to engage with the suppliers and provide them with real practical tools, practical solutions, so that the suppliers can help, to help suppliers really enhance their capacity and awareness and capacity, and make preparation for before they fully, jump into this commitment. So I think that part is very important. I think that's a good path, a good lessons that I hope LONGi could also learn from that performance, and together I think it's with SBTI, I hope eventually we can come to a consensus that it's not good enough for the leading companies to technically achieve the target, to technically achieve the so-called carbon, not just the deep cut, but also even carbon neutrality. If they do it technically, there are always ways. Now there are loopholes in all these rules. I hope they don't stop there. I hope that as the leading company, they actually can fully, tap into this big potential to engage with their suppliers. To engage their suppliers, particularly in China, and eventually in the new kind of supplier base in the global South, and use their influence, use their capacity, and work with others to hasten the process of decarbonization of the whole industry, rather than just technically trying to do that. I think it's important.
好，谢谢马主任。就您提到的这个范围3的减排跟这个供应商的合作是非常重要的一点。然后我也相信，作为这个链主或者说或LONGi这样的这种领先的这个企业来说，是能够发挥一些领袖方面的这样的一个功能，来带动更多的这个供应商做好减排这件事情。那其实今天早上还听了一个这个报告，谈的是这个全球的贸易怎么服务于全球减排这件事情。接下来呢，就想请王秘书长给我们继续讲一讲，就是 SBTI 可以怎么推动全球的减碳合作，然后我们一起来共建一个可持续的商业模式。有请王秘书长。
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. And about the SBTI, I think it's very important for the carbon reduction. As we all know, energy sector plays a fundamental role in carbon emissions. More than 80% CO2 are from energy sector. So how to reduce fossil fuel consumption and increasing the clean energy, non-fossil fuel is very important. China has done a lot of work in this field. So far, the total capacity for renewable energy in China is nearly 1,300 gigawatts, almost 50% of the total capacity of China. And furthermore, China has produced a lot of solar panels and wind turbines not only used in China but also used in other countries. And I think the most important for China is to bring down the cost of renewable energy. 20 years ago, the cost for wind and solar PV is very high, maybe 50 or 60 US cents per kilowatt hour. However, now it's only 1 or 2 cents, so maybe 90% decreasing compared to 20 years ago. It means not only in China, the people can use solar PV and wind energy, but also in other developing countries, for example, in Southeast Asia and African countries, even in SDC countries. I think in this way, China make a lot of contributions to carbon emission reductions, not only in China but across the world. And as for SBTI, I think renewable energy or energy sector is still a very important for the players to realize SBTI. And I think SBTI target is not easy task for the companies. They have to do a lot of work to realize it, in particular the Scope 3. So I think all the market players can work together to reduce the carbon emissions in the future. Firstly, I think CDP or SBTI team can organize more conference or meetings to introduce the background and the target, the procedure, and the function of SBTI to more companies, to let more people know SBTI well. And secondly, I think we can invite or attract more leading companies to participate the SBTI group, because the leading companies has more capability to realize the target of SBTI, because they are strong in the financing, the human resources, technology, even reputation, etc. So they are more probable, or they are more impossible to realize the target of SBTI. And on the other hand, they are strong in the supply chain, so they can drive more companies or enterprises in the supply chain to attend the SBTI group. And thirdly, I think we should organize more cross-sector or cross-region communication, just like the side event here today. And in this way, the companies or enterprises can learn from each other, and they can know more about the SBTI. And in this way, they can form the consensus of carbon emission reduction, and they can unite up. They can work together to do more things. And finally, I think we can enlarge or widen the range of SBTI, especially the financing institutions or companies, because in the future, a lot of new technology need the support of green financing. So we can encourage more financial institutions or the companies to join the SBTI program. Basically, that's my point. Thank you.
谢谢王秘书长。其实在现场我们还有2位对于 SBTI 非常了解的这个专家，分别是吴长华老师还有这个何继江老师。所以呢，我感觉如果今天在这个场合能够有2位专家也给我们发表一些评论的话呢，会是一个非常好的机会啊。所以呢，对，我们想请吴老师还有这个何老师来，就是简单的聊一下，就是光伏企业。我们聚焦到今天的这个主办方光伏企业，它这个设定 SBTI 的目标的行动路径还有挑战在哪里
？Thank you. No, it's okay. Thank you very much. No, I don't have to. Okay, sorry. To be in it. Okay. Thank you very much. It's a surprise, and the reason I took the microphone because I had to leave in a minute. A friend is coming to call me actually away as well. So thank you for the invitation. Because we are at a COP, so I would really like to bring up one particular thing that's related to the topic we're discussing today, which could be potentially very disruptive. So Bloomberg Philanthropy and puts $40 million on the table and decided actually to work with UN, Global Climate Action, launching something called a net zero carbon data public utility. Okay, whatever the brief version there. The reason I would like to bring this up is that, so yes, we have all those standards, CDP's efforts, which all laid really great groundwork so far, and of course you need to carry on the baton as well. And from China perspective, the blue map data is very, very important there as well. But in the meantime, the world is moving faster forward because we all know Bloomberg. That's the financial data. Because with all the things, whatever the data you are monitoring, stuff like that, at the end of the day, we are connecting the dots. We are closing the loop, meaning, we can do disclosure, whatever, everything will end up in the financing side. And so the power of Bloomberg is that financial services, that it has data, right? And the capital market, everything like that, through another channel, actually my professional connection, I've been working with them there as well. So I don't want to dive into more details here, but really, really would like to bring this up. I believe you've been following that. From where I stand, I think it's going to be really disruptive. On one side, it's fascinating to see Bloomberg Philanthropy moving forward actually to do so. It's going to be all open, all free out there. And in the meantime, actually, so the question to the companies, basically including LONGi, are you ready? I think that's a sort of new way of looking at the situation very, very quickly. Otherwise, you will be sort of lagging behind in a way. You'll be shocked and surprised. But in the meantime, like a CDP, like Blue Map, actually, with the current existing data platform there already, they will continue to play very, very important role to support the companies in terms of build up of capacity, tools, instruments, whatever, capability as purchased to do so as well. So that's my key message here at this moment, just on the side. And so Marjorie and I will lead another platform through the World Economic Forum to really moving forward with the transforming supply chain. And it's coming together now. So you get to know, we would love to have LONGi on board. Because the next product we're going to produce for the next year's summer Davos, dedicating 10 case studies from China. So we'd love to have LONGi to be the representative case actually of your sector, and beyond we're going to look for other sort of cases there as well. Now, the three of us are here. We're going to be playing sort of this role tomorrow, more like our show tomorrow, but here we are here already.
So on the solar map side, so the three of us are actually leading that endeavor, even though it's advancing, accelerating solar energy transformation, but in it, we built in that sort of a context there is really about accountability, credibility, integrity of leading companies. As I said, like it or not, the world is moving on. You have to do it. Otherwise, you'll be lagging behind. You'll be held accountable. That could be a risk, your liability. But that's something we would love to share more tomorrow morning. And the whole morning will be our show jointly. And rather than say everything now, and this keeps a little bit of sort of a surprise. So now, Professor He Jijiang, the mic is yours. Thank you.
好，大家好。我们知道光伏在运营的阶段是几乎零碳的，但是呢，光伏在生产的过程当中，特别是在硅料生产的过程当中呢，会有一定的碳排放。所以呢，我们怎么样在全生命周期降低光伏的碳排放，就显得非常的重要。我特别欣赏LONGi提出的 Solar for Solar， 就是我们用光伏的电力去制造我们的硅料，硅料电池片。组件，再用我们这样零碳的材料去制造光伏，我想如果我们所有的光伏行业都这样全生命周期的去生产零碳的产品的话，那么对我们全球的碳中和就会非常的重要。第二呢，是中国的光伏组件越来越便宜，这样呢就为全世界的碳减排做出了巨大的贡献，因为它降低了全世界的碳中和的成本。我们有必要把这样的一种贡献，做一些计算，并且给予量化的展示。第三，我们的光伏呢，不仅仅能够产生清洁电力和零碳电力，还能够对 SDG 的其他目标，比如说这个减少贫穷、减少饥饿，以及呢生态修复会有帮助。那我想呢，我们LONGi呢，不仅是要把我们组件卖到终端去。还要把这些能够产生 SDG 效果的项目的典型案例能够追踪，在我们的 Solar Map 上做展示，我想可能能够让更多人分享到这种案例，并且来学习推广。好，谢谢。
谢谢何老师，何老师已经给今天的这个圆桌，我觉得画上了一个非常圆满的总结，我就不再多做这种赘述了所以谢谢我们今天所有来参加LONGi这个圆桌论坛的嘉宾，也谢谢何老师还有吴老师最后的一个输出我们今天的圆桌论坛就到这里，谢谢大家。